Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, I'm Lenny and I have 5 Dachshunds, 4 long hair and 1 smooth. Today I'm really excited because the food company that we feed our dogs, Envy Dog Food, which you've probably seen in loads of our videos before, has gifted us some food to give to you. And I was thinking about videos to do alongside this, and I thought, what things do I use the Envy Dog Food for other than just feeding, because I've already done videos on the feeding. And I thought I could take you through my 5 commands that I teach my dogs from a young age that I think are important commands for them to learn, and how I teach them. I just want to preface this video by saying I don't make any commission from the Envy Dog Food. I'm literally just, I feed it and I love it and my dogs love it, and we've been on it for, I don't know, 3 years, maybe longer. So I thought I would pair up with them when they asked me, and so here we are. And I thought it would be good to do a giveaway because you guys loved the last giveaway. So yeah, I'm excited for this video. So the 5 commands that I want to talk about are just the first basic commands that I teach my puppies from a young age, and I continue to teach them and use them throughout their lives. So the ones that I'm going to talk about today are sit, lie down, leave it, drop it, and wait. So these are just 5 basic commands that do come in useful throughout their life. So they are good to teach from a young age, and they're super easy to teach from a young age as well. And dogs love to be rewarded and do training, and it's really good for their mental stimulation, especially during a pandemic, to keep up your training. So I'm going to show you in this video how I teach those commands. So before I go ahead and move the camera over to Fenton, who I'm going to be doing this training with, I thought I would just give you a couple of top tips before you start working on these commands. So my first top tip is to organise 3 levels of reward. So you want a low reward, medium and a high. And it should be based on your individual dog. Some dogs find toys really high reward, whereas some dogs find them super low and they're not bothered. So I want you to organise your rewards in that way. This comes in super useful because basically it means that you've got these different levels of reward that you can move up through as the commands get more difficult, or as your dog loses interest. So the rewards that I'm going to be using today, in order, so lowest to highest, is a tennis ball. The Envy Dog Food kibble is my medium reward, and my highest reward is cheese. Now to Fenton, all of these are pretty good rewards because he loves toys and food, so really they would all sit, well, pretty much anything would sit in high reward for him. He's just an excitable dog in general. But I've put them in what I think they would go in. I obviously don't have them in here right now because otherwise I wouldn't be able to film this right now because the dogs would all just be asking me for the cheese. So I haven't got them here now, but you'll see in a minute what I mean by these different rewards. God, reward is such a difficult word to say. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's my Devonshire accent. I'm trying to say it, reward. So hard. My second top tip is once they really start losing interest, stop. So you want everything to be positive in the commands, and you don't want to undo any of your teachings. It's best to do your training little and often. So you might just put 10 minutes aside twice a day to work on a command and then move on to different commands and try and mix things up. That's another reason why it's good to have those different levels of treat as well, so you can mix up between the reward levels, you can mix up between the difficulty of how you're using these commands, and you can also mix up on when you do them. So try not to make it a routine thing. So just put time aside, short amounts of time to work with your dog one-on-one. As I say, if they start giving up and you're seeing that they're really losing interest, just stop at that moment and try again a couple of hours later when they're excitable and playful again. Because yeah, you don't want to undo what you're doing. My final tip is if you have multiple dogs, make sure that you are doing this one-to-one. Especially if you've just brought on a puppy, you need to make sure that you have plenty of that one-to-one time. So don't expect your older dog to teach your younger dog these tricks, because that ain't gonna happen. So make sure you're getting plenty of one-to-one. That's across the board. So if you've got 2 older dogs, if you've got a puppy and an older dog, if you've taken on 2 puppies at the same time, make sure all of this is done one-to-one. Once they are really good at it, then you can try bringing in another dog, and if you've got 3 dogs, well, that's great because I love people who have loads of dogs. But yeah, start bringing them in one by one. Don't put them all into a room and ask them to sit. It's not going to work. So yeah, that's my final tip. Make sure you do this one-to-one until they're really good at it before you introduce another dog. So I'm going to move you now, and we're going to do everything in the living room. I'm going to apologise in advance. I have very mucky dungarees on. I haven't hoovered the floor. So yeah, I'm apologising in advance. But it's not about that, it's about the dog, okay? And it's about the commands, not about the mess of my living room. So hopefully you can see me. I've set up 2 cameras, so I've got one a bit closer and one a bit further away. Hey guys. So I'm going to start with my lowest reward, which is a tennis ball, which, as I've already said, this is still high reward for Fenton. So I'm going to start off by teaching him sit. He already knows sit. As you can see, he knows I have a reward and he's already sitting. But I'm going to teach you guys the motion that I make to make him sit. So there's 2 things that come into this. There's a visual command and there's also the verbal command. So I opt to teach both at the same time. I've always found that the most useful. So I will ask him to sit, and I just ask once, so I just say sit. And I make a motion with my hand with the reward in it. So I've got the tennis ball in my hand right now, and the motion that I will make to ask him to sit is like this. Sit. That's it. And if he sits, he gets the reward. So you can do this with treats or a toy. I'm choosing to use a toy at the moment. So the motion again and the command. So you've got a verbal command and a visual command. So my visual command is this motion and my verbal command is sit. So I'm going to say sit. I'm going to give him the ball. He was already sat, but I hope you get the point. So the motion that you're looking for is this motion, and you want to put it over their head because it encourages them to look up at it and fall back into a sit. Because if they're like this, if they're like this and you lift the treat over their head, they're going to end up going like this. So that's the motion. So you've got verbal command and a visual command. Sit with the command. After a while, you should be able to use the verbal command or the visual command separately, and they both work. But I find in the beginning, I like to use both. Quite a lot of people will opt to then take away the visual command, so they just say sit and then reward. So I've now swapped my reward for my medium reward, which is the Envy dog food kibble. Come here, come here. Sit. He's giving me paw, but fine. So again, verbal command and visual command. Sit. And he will go into a sit, but he's already in a sit at the moment. So now I'm going to move on to lie down. So obviously I need a visual command and a verbal command. So my verbal command is down. My visual command is to move the treat down to the floor to encourage his body to move. So I'm going to say down, and he gets the reward. So as you can see, I've got a verbal and a visual. Now he already knows down, so he's obviously making it look quite easy. Ways that you can encourage lie down if they don't know it yet. So obviously verbal, visual, as I've already said, is to not only place the treat down, so down, but also pull it away from them so they end up crawling forward. That's another way in which you can encourage down. The third way to encourage down so that you can teach it and reward it is to put your legs this way with a small gap underneath. Bring the treat, pop your arm underneath and say down, down, down. And as you can see, they have to go down to get under your legs. So that also encourages down. So that's my 2 different downs. So my third command that I'm going to teach you is the leave it command. Leave it is basically as it sounds. So I'm going to ask him to leave something and not take it. So there's 2 ways that you can teach the leave it command. I'm going to show you the most simple way that I've found. So I've got a visual and a verbal command. So my visual command is a stop sign, so I'm almost asking him no, so I'm going to say leave it, and I'm going to put a treat down, and I'm going to say leave it. Nice and firm, leave it. Good boy. And then I'm going to give it to him. So Fenton doesn't do much leave it, to be honest, so this is him learning it at the same time with you. So again, I got a reward here. I'm going to say, leave it. Well done. So basically what I'm doing is I'm asking him to leave it, again, visual and verbal, and I'm going to extend the time that I ask him to leave it. So when they're an excitable puppy, you can really only do this for like seconds because they'll be so wanting it. But you want to reward any time of leaving it. So you might count, let's say leave it, and then in your head say elephant. And if they've managed to leave it for the whole word elephant, then they get the reward. And then in your head say elephant, elephant, if that makes sense. So you just extend the time naturally. So again, I'm going to ask him again, leave it. I'm extending it for leave it. I'm going to extend it for as long as I can. Good boy. Go on then. There you go. So that's the leave it command. Thank you. So the fourth command that I'm going to want to teach is wait. At this point, he's still very much focused on the Envy Dog Food kibble, so I'm not going to go up in reward. I don't need to. So this command, as I say, is going to be wait. So I use wait for things like teaching boundaries at doors, things like encouraging them to lie down on their bed and you being able to walk around the house without them following you around your ankles. And that's what I end up using it for. It comes in super useful. And the way that you need to teach wait is really slowly with a puppy. So you can't just say wait and walk miles away. It doesn't happen. So with a puppy, what I tend to do is I will stand up. Sorry about my feet, for anyone who likes feet. So I'm going to ask him to wait. And again, you need a visual and a verbal. So my visual for wait in this camera, again, is a similar stop sign. So instead of it being straight in front of their face, so the visual can be the same as the verbal, it doesn't really matter. So my wait, again, is very similar. So I say wait with a visual stop sign, and I keep that stop sign up as I leave them. With a puppy, really, all you have to do is step to the side. So Fenton, wait. Step to the side. He's not moved. Great. Well done. So again, I'm going to ask him to, with a puppy, as I say, you really only want to move a step away. So wait. And if they stay where they are, they get the reward. Good. And then you can start stepping to the side and forward. So you end up getting out of their eyesight, basically, is what I'm saying. So wait, step to the side, forward. Well done. Good. Okay. So you end up wanting to be in a position where you can actually say wait and walk a whole circle, so a whole circle around them without them moving from their position. You can also move further away. So I'm going to say wait and then I'm going to go out of the door or towards the door. So wait. Good. So you see, you're just wanting to start with tiny amounts. So again, let's start from the beginning. So visual and verbal command. My verbal command is wait. My visual command again is a stop sign. And when they are a tiny puppy or when you're just teaching them, you're going to want to only step one step away. Wait. Good. So as you can see, one step. Then you can move 2 steps away, round out of their eyesight a little bit. So wait, step forward. I don't want him to. Good boy, good. And then you can start taking it further away. Wait. Good. So hopefully that's understandable. And then my fifth and final command is drop it. So I'm going to do this with a reward, which is higher, because what I want him to drop is his tennis ball, which is super, super difficult. Hi guys, so we've run out of battery on the other camera. I'm hoping that it was filming the rest of this. So what I was saying is I'm moving on to the fifth command, and the fifth command that I'm going to be teaching is drop it. And I'm going to want him to drop his tennis ball. That's what I'm going to use today. And I'm going to use a higher reward than the tennis ball. So what you want to do is pick something that they will put in their mouth. So whatever that will be, a toy or whatever. And something that you know they will actually play this training game with. So you want to have a toy, and then you want to have a higher reward. That could be a higher reward toy to swap for, or that could be a higher reward treat. So because tennis balls are quite high reward for Fenton, I'm going to get cheese and I'm going to ask him to drop his tennis ball. So let's go and do it. So I've got 2 things here, cheese and the ball. So the way that I'm going to encourage him to drop it is that I'm going to give him the tennis ball. I'm going to say drop it while showing him the cheese, and then obviously swap the tennis ball for the cheese. So you have this. Drop it. Drop it. Good boy. So sometimes you might want to ask more than once, just so that they are getting it, but you just don't want to be like, drop it, Fenton, drop it, drop it, drop it. It's got to be 2 or 3 really firm commands. So again, I'm going to give him the tennis ball. He's already going to spit it out. Right, let me give him the tennis ball. Drop it. Good. So I've got tiny, teeny bits of cheese, which are very high reward, and a tennis ball, which is also high reward. So I'm going to give him the tennis ball. Drop it. Cheese. So this is just all you need to do. Drop it. Good boy. He's already going to keep doing it now because he knows I've got cheese. So this is what you're going to want to do. You can use any toy, and then as long as the other reward is higher than the toy. So that's how you teach drop it. So I'm just going to repeat that very quickly. So the way that I'm doing it is I'm giving him something that he wants to have in his mouth, and I am asking him to drop it. I'm showing him the reward that I want him to swap it for. And then when he swaps it, so he drops the ball, he gets the reward. So come here, come. Good boy, sit. Good boy, you go. Drop it. Good boy. This comes in super handy for, I'm just going to give him this little bit of cheese for a paw. Paw. Thank you. This comes in, I'm going to come back down to you guys. This comes in super handy for if they pick up something they shouldn't have in the house. So all you need to know is what is their highest reward. Go and get it and swap it. So that's why I teach drop it from a really young age, because it just makes it super easy then to swap things over. But it is just also fun for them, because all training is fun for them. They like to use their brain. As you can see, he's pretty chuffed now. He's got his ball and he's pretty laid back and pretty happy. So yeah, I'm going to roll you over to the other camera again now to talk about MV dog food. So I hope all of these training tips have been helpful. Yeah, head on over. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please do comment below, like, subscribe, etc. like you always do. So it's time to tell you a little bit more about this MV dog food giveaway. So I'm just going to say again, I don't make any money from this. They haven't paid me to do this. They've literally just sent me some of their food in order to give it to you, which is amazing because we've fed MV dog food for many years, way before I had a YouTube channel. So I was more than happy to promote them and have promoted them previously before. Again, don't get paid. The food that they've gifted us is the small breed kibble. Now, we actually feed the normal dog size kibble, but because a lot of the followers that I have on here I know feed small breed, they have gifted us that, which is amazing. So how do you enter the giveaway? All you need to do is 3 things. That's it, super simple. Go and follow MV Dog Food on Instagram. Subscribe to this channel, the channel that you're watching right now. Hello, welcome to my channel. And comment below, I've entered, and your Instagram handle. That way I can check that you followed all of the rules for you naughty people that don't want to follow the rules. The winner will be randomly selected from the comments below this video, and the final entry day will be in the description of this video. So I'm going to do it based on when I have time to edit this video and pop it up. So all of the details again will be repeated in the description below this video. So if you need any clarification, then go and check it out. And also the link to MV Dog Food, their website, so that you can go and shop now if you want to, and their Instagram will also be in the description so that you can enter. And that's it from me today. So as I always say, it is Dachshund, not Dachshund, not Dachshund, Dachshund. Cheers guys.